Hi, everyone. It is me. Uh, oh, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor King World Leader here. And today I want to talk about, why, oh, how I got kicked out of my old learn. Now, it never really, it comes up that, I was kicked out of my old learn, but no one really truly knows why it happened. The guess was bullying, because I had a low put up for folks who bullied others, and that was most likely true. If we look at the tale, from following two, of Sailor Moon R, when, Emerald brainwashed everyone to think that, Amy was cheating on some stretch that she didn't cheat on. And then I go and hip toss about free folks on the ground. So you know that right there, everyone knew that, yeah, I bullied. Well, I didn't bully, but everybody knew I stood up to bullying, is what I meant to say. And the earliest that anybody also saw me do this was when I saved Serena from free folks that were, playing with her to make it look like that, that he, that they got harmed by her. So most likely was kicked out of my old learn for, fighting over bullying. Most likely, And everybody at, Crossroads, yeah, that was Round Street. That was the name of the learn in the Deek world, was keeping away from me due to, the name that I've had for myself. And everybody was always like, why were you the one that always fought all the time? Well, that's a good thing, because I always was fighting all the time. I always had, I stood up for, I seek to stop Zoisite from going after, Toll Machine, Game Machine Joe, or Game Toll Joe. That was his nickname, And then they always, and I always would make this thing about every man that I saw, I would somehow think that he was dreamy, like my former boyfriend, FREDDY. But then I'd say, how could he be? Because FREDDY broke up with me, and, they always kept bringing that up all the time. And no, he never shows up in the show. Hell, he never shows up. he never shows up in PGSM, and no, he never shows up in the book. So as far as my former boyfriend Freddy goes, he never does show up in any take of Sailor Moon. Well, I take it back, because there was a flashback, all right, to where me and Freddy broke up, and then Kenneth was there, to make scene I was all right, with the rain shield in his hand. So yeah, there's like one time that that Freddy did show up. And then when I had to, give my blood, because, Kenneth didn't have enough of the right blood, and, well, the Healing House didn't have enough of it. And everybody's like making a thing like, can it be true that only a girl and a boy can be friends? And I believe the answer is yes, but why they made a big deal of that, I don't know. But I'm getting way off track here, because the end of the day, it was about me fighting and how I got kicked out of my old learn due to standing up to bullying, most likely. But it's always said, but no one ever really looks into it, beyond that. So if you like this film, give it a like, share it, playlist it, and I'll see you later.